stop everything. Right now. The person you trust most, the one who says I've got you, might be quietly rewriting your reality, poisoning your confidence, and turning your own mind against you, and you're thanking them for it. That's not paranoia. That's the opening move in the dark psychology of manipulative people. And if your stomach just tightened, you're already closer to the truth than you realize. But let's go back to the very first crack. It never starts with shouting or obvious control. It starts in your lowest moment, when life has already kicked you hard. Maybe your relationship just exploded, your job is hanging by a thread, or that constant voice in your head keeps whispering you're not enough. You're exhausted, lonely, raw. And suddenly this person appears. They don't push. They don't chase. They simply match you. Every fear you whisper, they've felt it too. Every dream you share, they've secretly wanted the same thing. They finish your sentences. They remember the tiny details you mentioned once and bring them up like it's nothing. In that moment it feels like magic, like someone finally sees the real you. Your brain floods with relief. The anxiety that's been choking you loosens its grip. For the first time in months, you breathe easier. You tell yourself, this is different. This is real. But here's what they're actually doing. They're running a silent scan. Every word, every micro-expression, every insecurity you accidentally reveal, they're storing it like ammunition. They're not falling in love with you. They're building a map of exactly where you're weakest, so they can live there. And the cruelest part? It works. You start leaning on them. You cancel plans with friends because they need you tonight. You second-guess your own memories when they gently correct you. The psychological grip tightens so slowly you don't even feel the chain until you try to move. That's when the real crisis hits. You wake up one morning feeling smaller, more anxious, more confused than ever, yet you can't imagine life without them. Your mind is now split in two. One part knows something is deeply wrong, the other part is terrified of losing the only person who understands. That tension, that constant low-level dread mixed with desperate attachment, that's not love. That's the first stage of their dark design. And most people never see it coming, until they're already trapped, but the trap doesn't announce itself with red flags. It whispers. Chapter 2 begins the moment you start doubting your own eyes. You remember clearly what happened yesterday. The promise they made. The way they raised their voice. The cruel little comment that cut too deep. Yet when you bring it up, they look at you with pure confusion, almost pity. Did I say that? Baby, I think you're mixing it up. You were really stressed that day. Their voice is calm. Soft. Concerned. And just like that, the ground under your feet shifts. You replay the memory again and again, searching for where you went wrong. Maybe you did exaggerate. Maybe you were too sensitive. The doubt creeps in like poison. Slowly at first, then faster, until you're apologizing for something they did. This is gaslighting at its most brutal. Manipulators don't just lie. They rewrite history in real time, and they make you the unreliable narrator of your own life. Every time you catch them, they flip the script so smoothly that you end up questioning your sanity instead of their actions. The psychological struggle becomes unbearable. You lie awake at night, heart racing, wondering, am I losing my mind? Am I the toxic one? Your confidence evaporates. Simple decisions feel impossible because you no longer trust your own judgment. Friends notice you're quieter, more withdrawn, always checking your phone for their approval. And here's the sick genius of it, they comfort you while they destroy you. When you break down and cry, they pull you close, stroke your hair, and whisper, "It's okay. I'm here. Everyone else just doesn't understand you like I do." In that moment, fear and relief crash together. You feel terrified of the world, but safe with them. Exactly where they want you. The tension builds. Every disagreement ends the same way, you conceding, them winning, and you feeling smaller. Your reality is slowly being erased, one rewritten memory at a time. You start hiding things from your own family. You stop posting on social media because their jokes about your photos make you self-conscious. You walk on eggshells, constantly monitoring their mood, terrified that one wrong word will trigger another round of silent treatment or explosive anger followed by tearful apologies. This is the crisis so many people live in silence, trapped between loving someone and slowly disappearing inside their grip. And the worst part? Deep down, a small voice inside you still screams that something is very wrong, but you've been conditioned to ignore it. Because by now, they don't need to control you with force. They've trained your own mind to do it for them. Then comes the silent weapon that breaks what's left of you. It doesn't look like violence. It looks like absence. One day they pull back. No fight. No explanation. Just cold distance. Messages left unread. Plans suddenly forgotten. Their warmth turns into ice overnight, and you're left desperately trying to figure out what you did wrong this time. This is the discard phase disguised as space. Your heart races every time your phone doesn't buzz. You replay every recent conversation, hunting for the mistake that pushed them away. Sleep disappears. Appetite vanishes. You feel physically sick with anxiety, checking and rechecking if they're online, if they've seen your desperate texts begging for clarity. The psychological torture is exquisite. They know exactly how much uncertainty you can handle before you crack, and they give you just enough breadcrumbs to keep you addicted. A single heart emoji after 3 days of silence feels like oxygen. A short miss you after a week of nothing feels like winning the lottery. You become a shadow of yourself, constantly performing, constantly proving your worth, constantly terrified that if you stop trying, they'll disappear forever. And here's where the real darkness reveals itself. While you're crumbling, they're thriving. They're testing how far you'll bend. They're enjoying the power of watching you chase. Some even flirt with others in plain sight, then accuse you of being crazy and insecure when you react. The emotional whiplash is constant: love bombing, devaluation, discard, hoover. Over and over like a sick cycle that slowly erodes your identity. You start losing friends because you've canceled too many times. Family grows worried but you defend them fiercely, they're just going through something. Your career suffers because your mind is never fully present. You're always waiting for the next mood swing, the next punishment, the next fake apology that pulls you back in. The internal struggle becomes unbearable. Part of you hates what you've become, needy, anxious, constantly apologizing for existing. Another part is terrified of being alone with the emptiness they've created inside you. You know you should leave, but the thought of never hearing their voice again feels like dying. This is the moment many people break completely. Some stay for years. Some lose themselves so deeply they no longer recognize the person staring back in the mirror. Manipulators don't just control your actions. They colonize your soul. And just when you think you've hit rock bottom, they come back with the perfect apology, the tears, the promises, and the cycle restarts, even stronger than before. But there's one final truth they never want you to discover. And that truth changes everything, and here is that final truth they never want you to discover. The one that changes everything. They don't just break your heart. They rewrite your future so completely that even after they're gone, you still hear their voice in every decision you make. You stand at the edge of leaving. Your bags are packed in your mind. Your finger hovers over the block button. But then the fear slams in: what if I'm wrong? What if no one else will ever want me? What if I really am the problem? That voice isn't yours anymore. It's theirs. They planted it months ago, watered it with every silent treatment, every "you're too sensitive," every time they made you beg for basic kindness. Now it grows on its own. The psychological crisis becomes total. You scroll through old messages at 3 a.m., hunting for proof that it was real. Your chest tightens every time someone new shows interest, because deep down you believe you're broken, unlovable, crazy. You cancel opportunities. You push away good people. You stay small because that's the version they trained you to be. And the cruelest part? Some manipulators don't even have to come back. The damage is already done. You become your own warden, enforcing their rules long after they've moved on to their next target. This is the silent epidemic no one talks about, the invisible cage that follows you into new relationships, new jobs, new dreams. You smile in photos while dying inside. You say I'm fine while your nervous system screams. You watch everyone else move forward while you stay frozen in the exact spot they left you. But right here, in this moment of total despair, something shifts. A crack appears in the cage. Because the final truth isn't just how they trapped you. It's that the key was never in their hands. It was always in yours. You now know exactly how the game works. You've seen every move. And that knowledge? It is your power. The dark psychology of manipulative people only works in the dark. You just turn on the lights. And nothing will ever be the same again. If this video just punched you in the soul, if you recognized yourself or someone you love in any of these chapters, then listen to me. You are not crazy. You are not broken. You are not alone. The moment you name the manipulation, it loses its power. Your next chapter doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the version of you that's about to rise, stronger, wiser, and finally free. So do this right now. Hit that like button if you're done letting toxic people rent space in your head. Share this with someone who needs to see it, because your share could literally save their life. And subscribe with the bell on, because we're exposing the darkest corners of human behavior every single week, and the next truth might be the one that finally sets you free. You've got this. Now go take your power back. I'll see you in the next one.